Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on a little bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now this weekend, we would like to update you numbers of information. Obviously, yesterday we have a very critical change of policy on the subclass 485 graduate work visa. And today, we're in the latter of this video today, I'm going to discuss options, what sort of courses that you may is open up for people to choose, for international students to choose in order to connect it to a graduate work 485 visa. And also in the beginning we'll go through some news as well and some of the updates. So why don't we not to waste any time, let's get into the actual information. So okay, now there's a lot more daily news coming out from migration news, and it's not very important, but again, there's since the new financial year, the increase of visa application fee and charges is gonna be there. So the regulation and migration regulation to increase the VAC, means visa application charge for numbers of visa by forecast consumer price index CPI, and that will be how much? About 3% increase. And that and budget paper that fit the budget paper is also around nearest $5. Anyway, I don't have all the new figures of all the visa charges, but surely on 1st of July we should have all that updated on the immigration website. So that's one thing for you to take a note on that. Well, I'm not trying to actually urge people to lodge application before 1st of July just to save that little bit of money. The main issue here, you should still consider the fullness and the completedness of your application. So just don't bluntly trying to save some money and lodge the visa, and the visa is likely to be refused or rejected, then you waste a lot more money as well. So anyway, just to give you an update there. Now there's a lot more information and news coming out. Now obviously the former government had lost their elections. It's not a news anymore, but seems to be there's a lot more hunting continues. Obviously they are now digging into the historical records of how the former government had actually done. So you may know that Peter Dutton is actually the leader of the opposition party, Liberal Party now, and there has been potentially found of negligent, haunted 2020-2023 migration program. So what does that mean? That means he actually had done something that resulted with all the crappy issues that we have discussed over the last month. So let's have a look what this news is all about. It's just give you guys an update and updated information on how the current government has actually seen what the former government has actually done in regards to the immigration policies. Some of them is not really pleasant. So allocational partner visa may have been increased to clear Peter Dutton's illegally engineered backlog. Wow, that's a very nasty claim there. Well, I do have that personal experience on that one, obviously due to the starting from the employment sponsored visa and affected to a student visa, and then further onwards to the business innovation investment visa. It's all delaying. Is it actually engineered by the former government? Well, possibly. Let's have a look. But the tens of thousands of affected Australians may have been waiting for a long time, which is a fact, which is already a fact. There's no doubt there has been a lot of delay and backlog, and causing a lot of families issues and causing a lot of work employment related issue. Can you imagine back those days? And we still have that complexity going on at the moment. An employer wanted to employ someone, and you got to wait for 1 or 2 years. Now, how would that work? That just don't work at all. So, is it being engineered? Well, potentially yes, because common sense. If you are somebody employed in immigration, and you are assessing an officer assessing an employment sponsored visa, obviously the employer is eagerly want to employ somebody to work for them, and that somebody, the skilled migrant, wants to work for the employee, and connecting these parties, there are also families around, right? Okay, so if you put a delay, if you engineer some sort of delay in there, obviously cause a lot of issue. Anyhow, it has resulted with a failure and the election lost on the 21st of May that we have discussed many times in this channel. So as a forecast of independent Australia, the Department of Home Affairs has announced the 2022-23 migration program. Now, that was announced by the former government of 160,000 increase with skill stream of 30,000. It is able to do this because over the last 2 years, a massive increase of allocation of partner visa, and without the hint of embarrassment, DHA now states that the partner visa program for 2022 and 23 is demand driven. Is estimated, not subject to the ceiling. So I don't know what that actually meant. It would appear that the department has last made the effort understanding legislation and the tens of thousands of Australian overseas partner affected by Duttons decision. Well, why is it he made the decision? Well, he was the head of the Department of Home Affairs, and immigration is subsidiary to the Home Affairs. So he made the decision, be waiting a long time for him to apologize and for illegally messing about their lives. So that's talking about the families of these visa applicants. Composition of large scale stream. So again, that continues to be a problem. Within this allocation place, permanent resident employment nomination scheme will rise from 22,000 to 30,000, which is good. But can such increase be delivered? Again, I think the contents detail of this news basically is saying it's just not enough. It is not enough. One hand of application failed 29,844 on the 30th of June 2018 and was 14,000 somewhere on the last year in June. So that's a huge decrease, unless there's very significant increase of employment sponsor application during the rest of 2022. It will not possible to deliver plenty of 30,000. So the department thought if we could increase it, then there will be more application. But look, the law is nasty. The regulation is so complex. Again, that just drives a lot of employers nuts. And I really think they need to simplify the employment sponsor scheme. The allocation of skill independent category to increase to almost 10,000, whilst the labor market is strong, and the increase of the readily be delivered by reducing the current very high pass mark. So are they looking to drop the pass mark? I don't know. I think 65 is fair. But by increasing additional 10,000 quota for skill migration sector, independent, should allow the required invitation mark to be dropped. So the allocation regional category also increased. So I'm pretty welcome on this one. This category comprises two parts, and this will be one of the state and also the employer scheme as well. But again, the RSMS is very badly engineered. You're required to have 3 years of work experiences and go through skill assessments. Well, that means you probably can get a PR straight away. And RSMS now only gives you a temporary visa. So I doubt people actually access that. Very, very rare in this situation. There were 17,000 application for former RSMS, and by 2020-21 it's fallen. Look at that, how much it's fall. That's crazy. Only 3,000, from 17,000 down to 3,000. Okay, that is huge for. So that is what this article is all about. It's talking about the poorly engineered policy and program that has been designed for the past years, which made the actual visa program to be very, very complex and very hard for people to accept, and plus the backlog, so no one want to do it anymore, and that's the problem. That's why it says it's illegally engineered. Now let's continue to read on. For in 2020-21, 10,675 visas were granted and were 18,000 applications on hand. And this is basically talking about the regional work and things. While these migrants may have some support of relative in Australia, compared to skill independent category, these migrants are also likely to be older and less. Obviously, the skill set is lower in comparison to all the others. This is also a good policy, as a state territory have a better understanding of the skill needed in jurisdiction and Commonwealth. So they should allocate more of this quota to the state territories. As currently, obviously, the past few years, not just one, every state and territory run out of their quotas just right about Christmas or right after Christmas, if I'm correct. And that, I think that was the trend for the past few years and haven't really been changed going on. This approach will ensure a positive outcome, but also mean that to nominate temporary entrant already in Australia. So that actually has a discriminative kind of policies that people, the skilled migrant offshore is not really beneficial on this part. And also they're talking about the BIP, the Business Innovation Investment Program, allocating being reduced, and it's also they also reduced the GTI down here, the Global Talent Independent Program, with almost half of that and half of that. And the result of this, this article is saying this is very high risk visa and presents a very poor policies. I mean, we are in a post-pandemic era. Every country is struggling and wanting to get all the good talents, most talented people coming to Australia. And the policy that the former government has set just right before the election, seeking to halve the global talent program and half the business innovation program, which is the author of this article is basically do not understand why that they are doing that. There will be a merit of new federal government scaling these visa back even further. So this is the recommendation, and I believe that this will actually come in hand, and in fact with the Albanese and the Labour government currently in hand, I still have very good confidence that they will likely to increase those quota and have a more welcoming, which the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has actually said in the media. So these are rest of the other visa allocations down the track, and basically that's for the news there. So basically this news is talks about, just to summarize this news, the poorly engineered policies that has been conducted over the past few years, and during the pandemic it's not really helpful, create a lot of delay and create a backlog, and they cut off those top talented visa, which has been very effective in attracting talents globally. But anyway, it's a recommendation sending a message to the current government, and I believe the current government will surely implement that too. Okay, the next news, let's have a look at this one. Hold on a second, how do I, all right, okay, there's a lot of ads in this news. I just wanted to close those Google ads. So the topic is saying call to close immigration floodgate for massage therapists. Wow, are you in this industry? So the industry body of massage and myotherapy Australia is calling for the new federal government to basically cut down the numbers. Have there been too many massage therapists? I'm not too sure, but this article, you may want to Google this. Over the past years, there probably has been a lot of international student and skilled migrants come on board as a massage therapist, and has actually flooded the industry. I'm not too sure how this will actually work, because I thought the policy has trying to make the massage therapist with the condition that they are only able to be sponsored in a medical clinic rather than a general massage shop in shopping centers. But it's not a good news. But it's here to actually let everybody to have a look. I'm not too sure how soon this will probably be implemented, or maybe not even be implemented at all. So just to give you guys a little heads up there, this news came out 23rd of June, a couple of days ago. Now, last but not least, let's go back to the Migration Alliance, which is the news that I have talked about yesterday about 485 visa. So I've received hundreds and thousands of messages and comments in regards, also, do we do this and do we do that? Now, I'm gonna give everybody, well, if you missed this one, I'm not gonna repeat on this video, but you may want to check out my video yesterday. But I'm here to actually give advice for a new international student, or perhaps you're looking to actually study in Australia and skill migrate into Australia. Now, do not pick those courses that are so cheap and they are focusing just in leadership and business. There's just been too many big people choosing leadership and business. It's a very simple business course, and it's cheap, and almost every private institution have them. Okay, and that's bad. Why is it bad? Because if everybody chooses it, imagine how the immigration will actually see it. If they see thousands and hundreds of thousands of people trying to apply for the same courses around the nation, what do you think the immigration would do? They probably will reject half or perhaps a lot more than that. So my suggestion and advice here is, look, the 485 visa, when they ditch the nomination requirement, that opens up a lot of other occupation. So you may think some occupation may, not traditionally or conventionally be picked, like commercial cookeries or what else, carpenters and the mechanics. Perhaps something like horticulture, perhaps like fashion design, perhaps some multimedia diploma courses, perhaps not going to register nursing course. What about enrolled nurse courses? What about those pet-friendly courses that a lot of people can actually gain and work in a vet store? And you don't need to be a vet, but you can work in a pet shop and things like that. What about those other recreative courses like tourism, and not into diploma hospitality? There's just too many people choosing. Then how about pastry cook? Things like this will pops up more in the future. What about the air conditioner engineer or electricians courses? What about the telecom diploma courses? There's just been a lot of other choices out there that you can actually pick. So do not just bluntly being dragged by certain agent and pick those leadership and business program, a very common selected simple program that just, you can do that, you can lodge it, but I think the likelihood for you to get rejected is actually very high. So think about what your hobby or interest will be, and you can pick those courses and study 2 years in order to get your 485 visa in the future. Anyhow, should you have more question and query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.